Okay, so if you're watching me on video, right, I'm actually coaching somebody on the phone, and you're not going to hear that end of the conversation, but I figured this is worthy of playing because or recording. So Mike, we're gonna go into this again, just so we. So I'm on the phone with somebody who's hesitant to call warm market people, saying it's easier to call cold market people I don't know, but also realizes fully that guess what, this is. You know, in order for him to be successful and create duplication in his organization, he can't be teaching people something that he's not willing to do himself. So I'm helping him kind of look at how we approach people. So okay, Mike, give me again a name of a person and tell me what they do. So give me one of those people that's in your phone in your warm market, and I'm essentially showing him how to approach these people in a way where he's just informing. So so he's not coming off cheesy or weird or creepy or any of those things, right, Mike? Because we don't want to do that, right? Okay, so give me a name of a person and what they do that's in your phone. Okay, Lenny, and he owns a landscaping. So he owns a landscaping company? Okay, so if I was calling Lenny, you're going to be Lenny, so I'm just going to call you Lenny, Mike. So my call to you would be like this. You're my buddy, so I call you up and say, Mike, or excuse me, Lenny, Todd, what's going on? And you're going, yeah, dude, what's up with you? Blah, blah, blah. Little, you know, I mean, you're my friend. So Lenny, the landscape guy, how do you know him, by the way, Mike? Your kids are in high school band together, so you guys have known each other for a little while, but you've never shown him your business before. Okay, so Mike hasn't shown Lenny the business. So okay, so I'm calling. If I'm Mike, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to call you up and say, Lenny, Todd, Falcone, blah, 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 what's going on? And you're saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, cool. So the normal breaking the ice thing that would typically happen, and with your buddy, and then I would just segue and say, listen, Lenny, I'm calling you for a very specific reason. Do you have a minute to chat? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. I'm saying, listen, let me tell you something. Why I'm calling. Number one, I'm launching a new company. I got into a new business about 3 months ago. I haven't had a chance to tell you about it yet. I have no idea whether this would be of any interest to you or not, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what I'm doing and what I'm doing with my business, and perhaps you can be a great source of referrals for me, or who knows, maybe this is something that where you and I can get together, we can make some money together. Are you open to taking a peek at what I'm doing? So that's just a very general one way of doing it, okay? So that's very non-pressuring, right, Mike? I'm just informing you and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm not saying, do you keep your options open at all? And I don't have to do that with these people. This is my buddy. Give me another friend in your phone real quick. Ed. Okay, so Ed owns a restaurant. All right, and how long have you known Ed? Oh, 12 years. Okay, cool. So you've known, so, all right. So if I'm calling Ed, and I'm you, I'm going to just call up Ed. Hey, Ed, Todd Falcone, what's going on? And you're like, hey, dude, what's happening? And, you know, whatever, small talk, because you know me and I know you. And then I immediately, you know, tell you why I'm calling. So I'm going to say, listen, Ed, I'm calling you for a reason. Do you have a couple minutes to chat? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, cool, listen, well, obviously as a restaurant owner, you're an entrepreneur. I launched a new business recently. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be pretty big. And, you know, I know you appreciate great ideas. And I mean, I have no idea. I mean, obviously running a restaurant's got to be very, very busy, and I don't even know if you got the time to do anything different or in addition to what you're doing, but I wanted to at least let you know what I'm up to, what I'm doing, and perhaps you can be someone that is a great source of referrals for me. I'm always happy to help you with your business as well, and at the very least, you're going to at least know what I'm doing. When would you have 10 or 15 minutes for me to show you what I'm up to, just so you have an idea of what I'm doing? And so that's another pretty low pressure kind of approach, where you're just informing somebody, you're kind of taking the pressure off. Now, of course, I'd like to put you into my business, right? But I don't need to say, hey, do you know? I mean, you can do it in a way that's very comfortable. Give me one more person. We'll do a little bit different approach. Give me one other name in your phone. Doug. What's Doug do? State trooper. And how do you know Doug? Kids in the band together the last 6 years. Okay, so Doug, my state trooper guy. Hey, Doug, Todd, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, da-da-da, you know, just, that's the way a conversation, we don't say, you know what it is, you just break the ice, right? And then I'm going to again say, listen, Doug, I'm calling you for a reason. You got a minute? Yeah, I do. Listen, I've just launched a new business recently. I haven't even had a chance to even tell you what I'm up to. I think it's going to be pretty big. I'd love to show you what I'm doing. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe for your interest, or who knows, maybe you know somebody that's in a position in their life where they're open and interested in making more money and perhaps creating a little more freedom for themselves. When would you have 10 or 15 minutes for me to show you what I'm up to? And that's kind of it, right? And then you asked me another question. So all three of those approaches are pretty low key, right? Okay. So what was your second question? You had a question about what is it? Is that right? What is it? Okay. So here's the thing. So anytime you approach somebody and you pique their interest, most people are going to say, well, what is it? Well, that's the whole purpose of me making the phone call, is to show you what is it, right? To show you what it is. So for me, if I call you up, Mike, and you're my buddy, and you got a background and whatever, and I'm calling you, and let's say you're my friend and not my coaching client at the moment, I'm calling you, Mike, you and I played golf together for a long time. Mike, Todd, what's up? We teeing it still on Friday? You're like, yep, we are, cool. Listen, you got a minute? I'm like, yeah, I do. You're like, yeah, I do. I said, okay, cool. However I do the approach, like I just did. Hey, listen, I know we play golf together all the time. About a month and a half ago, I launched into a new business. I haven't even had a chance to show it to you, but I wanted to let you know what I'm up to. I think it's going to be pretty big, and I want to make sure that you know at least what I'm up to. Perhaps you can be a great source of referrals, or who knows, maybe you and I can make some money together and have some fun and play more golf together. When do you have 15 or 20 minutes for me to show you what I'm up to? Right? And so now you're going to say, well, what is it? Well, my response at that point is I mean, it's going to differ from person to person, but it's essentially, Mike, listen, that's exactly why I'm calling you, so I can show you what I'm doing. When would you have 15 minutes for us to get together so I can at least, have you take a peek at what I'm doing and give me your feedback? So that is the purpose of the call. So when they say, what is it, I don't feel like I have to respond, especially with a warm market person, and give them the 30-second skinny. What it is, it's a new business. It's something I'm super excited about. It's something I want to show you. That's really the reason of me making the phone call. So hang on one second, Mike, and then we'll finish this up. So here again, I'm just coaching somebody on how to make phone calls to warm market, do it in a more nonchalant way and low pressure, and I made sure you heard both sides of the conversation, even though you didn't hear the other side. So hopefully that helps. And I've actually never done this on video before, so give me your feedback. We'll see ya. Okay. All right, Mike. Alright, I'm going to actually keep recording this. Okay, so check this out. You guys are back on the blog post. So the video's not actually over. I'm going to address something real quick with Mike as we're wrapping up this coaching session. I got wires everywhere. I got mics on me and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so what's the biggest fear that people have? Mike, your reason for not calling your warm market and it being easier for you to call cold market people is what? Okay, you weren't sure with what to say, so in other words, you weren't comfortable with what to say. Like, I mean, it's not like you didn't have some semblance of what you might want to say, but it's like, how do I say it in such a way where it's comfy, where I'm not alienating people? Is that accurate? Okay, so the approaches that I just did with Mike here are really approaches that, you're not calling somebody up and being the creepy person. You're not pushy, begging, getting in a situation where we don't want to alienate. I mean, and I say this all the time. You want to, Mike. You want to be able to recruit your friends, and never be part of the NFL. So if somebody doesn't join, then that's cool. No big deal. They didn't join. They're still going to be your friend. They're not going to unfriend you and run away from you unless they're just really not your friend to begin with. Because some people are like that. Even if you're not pushy, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you brought a business to me. And they freak out. Maybe that's their issue. You know what I'm saying? So for you, like right now, it's important for you to start getting to these people. I just repeated, and I even did it on camera for my blog viewers. Again, we did that 2 times. I actually did it for him 1 time before, but we put it on video the 2nd time so you guys could see it. And that now you have a little bit different viewpoint. And so it takes away the pushy, beggy, chasing, using, which is everybody's greatest fear, right? We don't want to do that. And I gave you just a real, look at it this way. You're calling your friend, you're breaking the ice, you're segueing into the conversation where you're saying, listen, I'm calling you for a reason. So you're now calling him for a reason. And and you're finding out, hey, do you have a minute? Can I talk? Do you got a couple minutes? Yes, I'm free, cool. And then all I'm doing is basically more or less informing you. Of course I want to put you in my business. Of course I'm calling to see if you're open and interested. But the approach is more of an informative approach. And so it takes that pressure off, doesn't it? Okay. So what I want to do with you, and I'm going to say bye to you the second time around on video. Mike, you hold on because I'm still working with you for a minute. And I guess now that's the end of the video, so we'll see you on another one.